Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another game here on the Into the Reach channel. We're back for more ESEA Advanced action as Into the Reach take on Dynamo Eclot tonight in a hotly contested game here on Mirage. I'm expecting at the very least both these teams in the playoff hunt at the moment, with Into the Reach on a little bit of a slip in terms of the games. 3 out of 4 lost. Looking to secure this playoff spot as Dynamo Eclot starting the CT side and started off quite well. You'd have to say Valencio and Sed coming in, both with 2 frags before Tida closes that one out. Into the Reach, they start on T side then, having lost both their games on Mirage this season. 8-16 against Gucci Squad, that's the former Trasco roster, and also a really gut-punching 14-16 loss against Infinite. Meanwhile, Dynamo Eclot, they're 1-1. A win against DNG and a loss just recently, just earlier today, I believe, against India Ray, 16-13. That was Into the Reach. Will just eco this round. Glock's coming in and kind of giving pretty obvious sight lines here, but still can actually secure that bomb time, looks like. Good job by Domo. Even if they only get out with 1 kill, that's not too bad. Or M4s remain. Might be a little bit of a problem, but that's not the end of the world at all. With Into the Reach coming into this 3rd round then with a bit of money instead. This time around. About time. 4 AKs looks like, yeah, obviously no money for risk just yet. With the op counterpart for tonight, Caps, and kind of the big star of this Eclot team, the 22-year-old, really has been performing quite well in the recent months. That's both in ESEA and also especially, I'd say, in some of the other competitions. And the ones bigger than this one. He's up in the window right now. A good nade thrown. Not actually going to connect on Adam. Avoiding a lot of damage there. Could have definitely gone down, but stays alive on 26 health instead. The rest of ITB opting to kind of creep around in middle alongside Adam. Sed jumps into window. So MBQ up there as well on short. So plenty to look out for in middle. 6 smokes window off. Would have to throw Molotov into ladder room, and I guess they are just going to ignore it altogether. Backing away, Cypher and Dobbo on the way out of B. Throwing a little bit of utility as they head towards that other side instead. 2 players waiting for them here. As Capson and Valencia do decide to push up a little bit close here towards the ramp area. We saw that coordinated move over towards ladder room earlier in the round with MBQ and Sed. Now it's Capson and Valencio's turn as Capson walks in deeper. Valencio hulls them off, and he actually gets 2 kills to make that a 3rd. Doesn't even need a lot from Capson here as he basically secures the round. Barely any damage taken before Valencio finally goes down, but at that point, Tadpole dead and buried. Perfect round from Eclot. Held ITB off well there in the middle for a long time and made them use up a lot of utility. And they really well-timed move there from Capson and Valencio. That gets them that 3rd round, forcing ITB onto the pistols once again. This time with a bit of body armor, but don't think that'll make a huge impact if I'm honest. So this sets up for a quick A hit, looks like. Bit of distraction there from Adam over in middle. You can see it's actually pulled away a lot of these Eclot players. Valencio the only one to guard this as he messes up the spray initially. Gets smoked off twice over, still peeks in, gets the 1 kill, but quickly traded. That should be the sight. Oh, Sed wants to contest. Another trade. Not going too well right now for Eclot. In fact, they've lost the man advantage, and that boy has made it into ITBs. 110 still on the clock here, but that's just Is going down. Needing that smoke from Tadpole, maybe. So they waited out. K1 feed and Capson sticking together on this one. Adam just holding them off. This Tech 9 will have to be good enough for at least the 1 kill. It is. What a shot from Adam. And he's just left Capson left now. I don't think recognises that the bomb is dropped. Over towards that ace site. Probably could have Taking a higher defensive line up towards CT, but instead repositions. Sits over towards jungle. Open plant here for Tadpo if he decides to take it. Wanting to clear out CT first, I can respect that. With 15 seconds, he's gonna have to get back into that site he is. At the very least, gonna get a bomb plant here. No nade for Capson, so no way to shut this one off either. Capson repositions again. If he goes back into CT, that could be such a smart move. Oh, but I think he thought it was B. That allows Tadpole to just sit and hide in dark. Capson not clearing it for now as he walks around the corner. Checking for the other positions instead. The smoke from Tadpole has allowed him a lot of space. And that's the round as well. And what was ostensibly just a half bite. Maybe even an eco. The body armor and mostly Tech 9s, they come out alive. Despite having only Tadpole and Adam on the board so far for this game. Make it 3-1. That's killed the economy here of the Czech side. I say, as they buy up 2 ops. Alright. Guess they bought up armor quicker than I expected or something. Capson just wild in here. Gets mollied off. It's a missed shot. Stays alive. Oh, and a flick his bow before he gets traded. That was such a flick. Someone please analyze for the angle of that. As this picks up a simpler op kill, you'd say. Gets the job done just as well, I'd say. No matter how fancy or just brute force it is. Vita up high, he's dead. So is the round surely now. MBQ trying to keep it alive. He's got the 1 kill peeking out quite widely here and does at least get another one. Does that mean Valencia goes for this? I think he just might. No kid on him. Mollied away. They don't just realize his position so far, but his peaks miss. Valencia with chance then as he picks up that kill, but the nade from Tadpole is absolutely perfect. All the way from car, he picks it up to make it a second round. Tadpole, of course, just a few days ago here after that previous game, tweeted out where he had seen Config play, and I think half jokingly at least put it up to question. That was on November 27th about playing with black bars. Had a really bad game last time out on the 26th, but maybe Canusevic's here with those new back bars, certainly playing well so far. This is just Thing's house. Oh, only until Mac 10 meets him. Valencia wanting a little bit more as well, gets a headshot. That's not enough to get another kill. But obviously with Tadpole, and with this whole team, if you can just get some of those role players performing, then that's really when ITB look their best. Funny in fact, by the way, that previous game, that loss, obviously 16-8 against Trasco, as I mentioned, Tadpole has already, in 6 rounds played, matched the amount of frags he got in 24 rounds against Trasco on this very map. Just thought that was intriguing, at the very least. He's not had a bad season either, but certainly hoping to forget about that previous game and righting those wrongs in a lot of ways by his performance so far. Maybe more to be expected in that regard as ITB go back to this mid take. Put 2 players up high and in towards underground, and then keep it on Adam. He doesn't actually sit towards the top mid there. This time around, I think he is kind of expecting another nade stack, perhaps a little bit afraid of that. So chooses the option with a little bit more mobility. Double to peek in. Fragless so far is starting to take control of Connector here. Has it all. Until that smoke lands. Counter utility coming out. Sed just moves in. Behind the box is Dobbo. Not quite going to peek it just yet. That's what Tadpo is advancing towards the A site. Dabo, if he could just get this entry through. He spots him and he's got him. That is massive for the A take potential here. With only 2 players remaining towards this area of the map. You can see ITB rotating over the bomb, doing a heavy connector take at the moment. Surely will head out towards the A site, if anything. 38 seconds, Capson flashed off completely. And Dabo has his second. As Valencia was forced to retreat from CT. Wanting a kill on the way out, not going to get it. In fact, that might have just killed off the round instead. Even with this flank going on, MBQ is setting up for the save, but doesn't even get to do it. What a round from Dabo. So he gets his first 3 kills in the game. Incredible stuff. As I mentioned, some of those role players showing up, be it in rounds or just in the whole games, that's when ITB really are indestructible. As they proved earlier in this season when they had that win streak going. Vita lets Tadpole pass. That's a free kill. Unless if he keeps sneaking around, he's not going to hear him. There he is. No AK retrieved. Obviously with Tadpole not having it, but I guess that helps out in some way for Eclot, who are going to be forced into just an eco here. Again, ITB had such an inspired win streak at one point in the season. Ended up 6-2 at one point with 5 wins in a row. Before, again, falling on this bad streak of games a little bit in these 3 losses they've had in the last 4. Looking really good on Mirage so far, I must say. A lot more being shown off early on this T side for sure. Fida boosted up. That's the one chance of doing damage, but instead Adam. I just penciled him in. For another death in the stat line. As the Eclot are left with just a couple pistols. I think Tadpole's heard it. He smells blood. As they want to retrieve that M4, it's not going to happen. As Tadpole stands guard. 3 kills in the round. He's up to 11. As Into the Breach have gone on a bit of a run. 5 in a row now. And can open up this game a lot for themselves if they just win this round. They can really take control. Could get up all the way to double digits quite early. They just win 1 or 2 more gun rounds here. Double up setup coming out from the CTs. Capson, of course, one of them. Sfida this time on the other instead of MBQ. So MBQ takes more of an angle in mid as Sfida holds guard instead of apartments. A lot of mid presence. Capson rotating in now, but it's not enough for Valencio to keep his life. As said, and Capson traded out. It's still going to end up in the ITB court. MBQ. Good kill, actually. That's perfect. It's behind enemy lines as well with the bomb dropped. He maybe doesn't realize the amount of impact he could have. Instead, Double's going to peek out, spot him out towards jungle. As Cypher's heard Fida. They have all the information right now, ITV. And there's 1. And there's 2 after a belated spray. Eclot played that well to get back in the situation, but in the end giving themselves up a little bit too easily with the sound cues there in the 2-on-2 as ITB have made it 6 in a row now. On course for quite the streak right now in this first half. Now the timeout called. I was talking about Capson earlier as well, the 22-year-old next big Czech opper. Has been really good in ESEA. And just that's in terms of frags. And also, you've seen like this really aggressive style from him, but he is one of the hardest players to kill. I think on the server here right now, before this game, he's the least killed player. He averages, like, in terms of deaths per round, he's up there in stats, not just in ESEA, but just in general. He has a beacon here as MBQ forces forward with his MP9. Eventually shut away. That's Captain though. At least keep it competitive and a good advance to get him the AK. To end up in the 3-on-3. ITB may just have to collect themselves here. That seems to be a collective effort more so towards the A site. Peter gets an AK on board. He stays high in top mid. Cypher just holding him for now. Surely we'll have to advance at some point. The A players walk in. Feeder will have to be checked. Cypher goes down. That's a third AK dropped. Said could go and get it. And now the man advantage as well for Eclot, as Said is heading in that direction. At least a couple seconds here for ITV. As Eclot are rotating over with one player behind. One from mid and then one over here in CT from Capson. Isk peeking in. Not catch him off as two will come from jungle instead. Isk playing it risky, leaving himself open there to ramp for a moment as he backs away. I don't quite have the information right now. Even Said has thrown his sound cue off. Tadpole wins the fight again. So just the 1-on-2. Isk the Molotov as well. That's perfect. But the smoke comes in. Feeder sits on it. Isk the missed shot. And not the connected follow-up. Feeder trying to get the defuse through. He doesn't have time. Oh, he did there for a moment. Instead it will be another round for ITB. That got close though. And that really is the importance. You could see it in those rotations that Eclot had, where they had one on the B site and then two way up in top mid. Those were valuable seconds in the end as ITV maybe wouldn't have had that bomb explode. Eclot were just a bit closer. Good shot from Isk. Quickly traded. Have forced a rotation over towards that base site, though, is the positive thing. You can see it's been ITV's strategy all half, is just to spread that A site rather thin and then hope to force back Valencio. They're trying to just head him. Force him head on. Wrong move there initially. Duration's already in. No further kill. Looks more and more odd as the round goes on. That decision. And Tadpole can't even rescue it there. I can see what Tadpole was doing. I think he is on a little bit of a heat check as well, obviously with his good run of form here in the game, but that felt boneheaded to walk in like that on Valencia, who is one of the top performers in Advanced. And top performer in his team this season. Both in frags per round and ADR. 0.76 and just above 81 respectively. ITV stack up on B. Smoke coming out. Desperately needing this round to really hold on to this control they built up earlier. It's an 8-4 scoreline, which looks still quite good, especially with the opponents on a weak economy. But the opposite, or Eclot end up on 5 rounds, that looks like a pretty dim future if you're ITB. They move on to middle. As Valencia is pushed up, they're sitting on top of the flower pot. Tadpole might just walk into his sworn enemy once again. Peeks. Dies. And that's a rough one as they try to get in towards this A site. No control at all. Dobbo forcing the issue goes down. And from there on out, shouldn't be all too difficult. They haven't got a trade. They'll need a lot more than that. There's something. Watching their backs and all types of angles right now with time. An issue is just flashes in at him. They're not touched by it. Adam not going to see him. It's actually just saving here. I don't blame that decision. But not a great round again. It's similar as well to the previous round. Both failed towards that A site. Where it felt like the early part of the move where maybe even when they weren't supposed to take a risk and supposed to take a fight, all fell apart. Unfortunately for Tadpole, it was him both times, but I'm not sure if I'm blaming him this second time around. Where Valencia was able to take him down one time because he just peeked in way too early, with no real backup involved. The second time just because Valencia was in such an advantageous position and Tadpole not recognizing it at all. But ending up in that disadvantage on the A side, and obviously the lack of control that it makes that situation have, when it would have been way better to just have the status quo remain. Might be a problem. Isk on the op here. Outside of that, just the pistols for ITB. Adam and Tadpole walking in first. What a flick that is from Stead. So neutralize the former of those two. And then they just start nading down towards middle. Sort of expecting the rest of this push in a pretty fair manner. Tadpole has got himself into jungle though. That's forward by Free, baby. He said he was switching over to black bars. I think he might have missed the gun barrel there. As a result of that. 6-7. Maybe that's just a preemptive conclusion that I've come to in the bias based on that. Couple rounds here in a row for Eclot. As Into the Reach have dropped from having some big time control over this first half to all of a sudden finding themselves just ahead by one round. Can this half be closed out on a positive note after all? As Adam got aggressive up in middle, him, Cypher, the team to try and go way beyond. They don't expect him. Surely they don't. C peeks out, C spotted. And Cypher went down as well. That is a rough start if I've ever seen it. Although at least here's Valencia on the site. Maybe that's a free kill after all, but no. Valencia holds him honest. Keeps it. That two-man advantage as the bomb goes down. Valencia is so skilled. Even when caught off. Just playing those right angles. In-game IQ. Isk needs to time this right. He doesn't know. He's dead. Tadpole, the flash mistimed for him. The flash well timed against him. Svita came in. Perfectly timed from it, that is. And settled it. 7-0 instead. To leave the game rather unsettled. As we close within one of the half-time break. You can see the money here, not ideal. 4 Into the Breach. At least 4 AKs actually come out, but that's with a bit of body armor involved. Then again, Eclot basically just have AKs, so who cares? Outside of that all, of course, on Capson. It's the old soft towards ramp, now switching over. Set goes down. Good start. Taps it. Miss on the refrag attempt. Comes back in, but another miss has left them in a worried state, to say the least. That should be 8-7. That's in ITB's favour, to be clear. But Eclot will try their best to come back into it. No other choice. In the end, it ends up with only 1. 8-7 for ITB. Not sure if you're going to call that ending on too much of a positive note, but I guess something in that direction for the British squad who do at least win that final round. That could certainly help them in terms of that mental side, even if they've completely lost control of this first half. It must be said, ended up, I think they were 7-3 up at one point with a chance to go up even further at that stage, and then after losing a couple gun rounds, will be 8-7 here as we switch sides. ITV now on CT. Eclot on the T side. You can see there, as I mentioned, Valencia, the top performer in ESEA this season for Eclot. Top performer in this game for Eclot as well, tying the amount of kills that Tadpole had on the other side. And those have been some impactful frags. Even more so than Tadpole's. He kicks off the second pistol here. Already the one headshot. Doesn't need to do a lot more. You can see Isk is already backing away, comfortable with man advantage. Eclot do get the bomb down. Pushing in towards jungle as well. Damaging down Cypher. He's gone. So is Adam, but then Isk is back in with a menace. So already making that man advantage. Fida trying him once again, but just nothing connecting. As Isk turns out invincible in this round to set up for the 4K. What a round from him. As they come back in and retake from the 9-7 lead. That is the quickest AWP buy I may have ever seen. Both in terms of it being the second round and also with being milliseconds into the freeze time. It felt like Isk picks up his first AWP here in the second half. No such luxury for Eclot, but then again, there's not much more than the AWP in terms of high profile weapons, 2M4s, I guess. It's Isk. Pays the price for missing that first shot, goes down to 16. Swaps position. Good rotation there from him. Put Adam up in window instead in a more passive spot. But now he's ended up a weird spot. Having to take control of quite a bit with Eclot doing an A-split right now. Jungle. An area where you really should be looking instead of in towards window. Could get peeked at any moment as Capson starts to peek through. It's Cypher to go down instead as Adam does trade. Eclot have most of this A site though. With ITB among the fringes instead. Sed gets bombed down. And this retake will be rather difficult now. With again, just no control at all. Dobo sets up for the flashback. And the Molotov. They walk it back. Is this a save? Might be. I think the plan there may have been from Dobo just to throw in that Molotov. And then if Tadpole saw someone, killed someone, they were going to go for it in that man advantage. But obviously with the lack of time they had, with no further picks, and again, that's 0 in terms of the control. It's been quite reasonable that they saved. And it will be a pretty similar buy this round to what they had last time out. Just going to have to place a Deagle in Cypher's hands or so. Or something of the sort. Actually, another MP9 does come out. Interesting. Adam gets an M4. MP9's on Cypher and Dobo then, as this goes for a second attempt here in mid. Boosting up. Not really needing to smoke off as Cypher's in there. Fida already killed off behind the smoke stands Adam. Getting away in time as well. A nade throws in. Said goes survive. A lot of pressure being put on by ITB there in mid. Does end up with that man advantage as Valencio peeks in. That's towards A. I think Tadpole spotted 2 here. Rotation's already on the way as Adam's up towards stairs. He gets one another. Valencio no chance as Adam keeps fragging. Eclot shuts out of this round. With that high intensity CT. Mid presence coming out from into the breach. Well done then. Adam getting all the way into T-spawn before he backs away, and they will go for this Eclot. No, they don't have a chance. Even if they stayed alive there with Capson, I don't think they did. Said not to be heard just yet. Maybe a bomb plant. That could be something. Got a plant away from everyone. Adam's heard it, but a bomb plant's just fine if you're in a 1-on-4, I'd say. Can't complain over that. Adam, a 4K from him. And a 10th round for Into the Breach. Of course, Adam been a real big part of this season for Into the Breach, and that was just true in that previous victory over SJ. Ended up with just so much impact in that one. You'd say the team highs there in both ADR and in frags. A bunch of entry kills involved as well. I think he had an entry success rate of like 83% or something, which is just mad. Double sets up. Double up set up here as Eclot go quick. It's all the way towards the ladder room, actually. Cypher trying to peek it out and through it. Valencio going up instead. Cypher will peek. A great flash. And Valencio still picks it up. That is ridiculous. That was a perfect flash from Adam. And yet, Cypher goes down in ungodly terms. That is a minor miracle from Valencio. Tags up double as well. He's afraid to peek him again, but then Adam comes up with at least a trade backing away into the shadows. But still picking up a kill. Bomb down at least. But they can't escape. They can't get out of the sightlines of Adam as he gets a third kill. And Zisk closes things out. Extremely well done in those rotations from ITB, who just were unrelenting. When Eclot were trying to get that bomb down, there was simply no space for them to operate in. Adam, just as I was talking about last round, just as that player who disrupts any and all T sides by just getting those trade frags and maybe even man advantage winning frags. Really just shuts down attacks, or at least mutes them somewhat. Large part in them starting up this run on CT. 4 to 5 here from into reach 1 in the second half so far, as they have this 3-round lead that should turn into a 4-round one. All they need to do is spray down these Glocks with no armor. Nades that comes through. Adam might be the best I've ever seen at avoiding nades, to be honest. Has the agility to just dodge any and all bullet, any and all utility. It's not a big problem to deal with. Any of these locks, Cypher 2, Adam 2, as they get to 12. Tadpo in there as well. I should mention. That's quieted down somewhat after such a hot start, but they probably wouldn't be at this point if he hadn't had. Oh, that's a lot of had. If he hadn't had, or something like that, a lot of kills in those opening rounds. So much impact there. Maybe you can't blame him for slowing down. Double on the op. Gets high up towards that smoke with Cypher helping out. That's at least the trade frag. Very important there after they lost the man on A. To get back. To make it a 4-on-4. His feet is tagged down. Quite gonna shut him down with the bullets through the smoke. He gets into that shimmy spot. Double might have to watch out for that one. As Eclot creep up towards underground with 2 players. That's really where they're putting most, if not all, of their focus on right now. Expecting one of Dobbo and Cypher to still be in there. Good smoke from Dobbo. At least limits the view in towards connector. Cypher will go for the peak here. Feed and lot looking. Gun barrel spotted, and Cypher has him. Dead to rights. Still gonna go down. That's rights himself. What's Zed doing? Alright. Adam will take that. I'm thinking. All he needs to do now is just keep his eyes on connector. Maybe they will boost back up. Yes, they will. In towards window instead. Adam under control. Such game awareness to keep that one on check. It's Valencio on 16 health will not stand a chance. That hold a candle. What has become a very impressive CT side here so far for ITB. Again, it really feels like they've sharpened up their ideas on Mirage. I think I've casted them once or twice before, just in this season of ESEA on this map. But it's never looked like this. That goes for both sides really, especially the CT side, I guess. With just a run they're on right now after losing that pistol round. Just losing 1 round here. They've won all the rest of them. Eco for Eclot. Tadpole ready. Still missing a bit of a spray, and that will be just a trade. Adam needs to watch his back. They've no mid presence. Adam. Buddy. You're not looking. They have the man advantage. Cypher's on his way behind. But into the breach. Just fumbled. A bit of a bag. Can they still get to 14 is the question as Cypher gets spotted. Molotov out to at least force out Caps in there. Oh, and he picks up the other kill instead as they back away in towards Dark. Cypher spots another one as Dobbo is lining them up. Him and Cypher rescue into the breach in this round. 14 rounds after all. Despite such a torrid start to it. That 3-on-4 ends up still going in their favor. And now, 7 rounds played in the second half. 6 of them won by ITB. Eclot really can't seem to handle when ITB just get into those team-wide peaks. We've seen it in mid, we've seen it on A a couple times, where that coordination is just simply stifling to that T side. And this would be such a perfect win for ITB as well. With their 7-5 record, playoffs definitely not secured. With a win here, they'd go quite a step in that direction. Phoenix, the game up next, by the way, that's tomorrow. We'll see if that's needed to be won to really secure playoffs, but even if it isn't, we'll still fight for a decent playoff seed. You don't want to end up facing the 1 seed in that first round. And obviously it's a derby as well, so there's quite a bit of value in that. That's going to be on Inferno, by the way. I'll have to look out on the Twitter for that at ITV Esports when that is and so on. Now with a minute remaining, just about, Eclot climbing up with Capson spotted, not killed. They go towards B. Something they haven't really tested too much. You can see Dobbo's been left all by himself towards the site. Just based on that, as he loses the op fight. And Hisk is forced to retaliate. Getting back in as quickly as possible. If another trade gone out in mid, that's at least Adam making it 3-on-3. Hisk as well is still kicking. As he spots out another player, he's got Captain. Has he won the round in general? Yes, he has. Hisk comes in and completely dominates on the B site to secure match point. Potentially secure a playoff spot this season or advanced. AK's out for Eclot. For the most part, at least. They walk up. Adam. Spotted out. Stubbo gets the opening kill, actually. A lot of pressure, meanwhile, on A as Cypher's taking another one down. Eclot just need to kill Tadpole here. No ifs, ands, or buts as they walk into each other and NBQ's got him. And another one. Adam. The one trying to be the safety here for this A site peeks in, has a spray down his mouth. And that's just set against 2 players here. Planting wide open for Risk, and he doesn't miss those. Securing the game. 16-8 in the end for ITB. What a match from them. What a CT side especially from them. Only losing 1 round in 9 play. That was incredible. What they did there towards the end of it. Had a really good T side as well, it should be mentioned, but that CT side, simply remarkable stuff. They haven't secured the playoff spot yet. You'd say they probably deserved, have deserved to be in playoffs. We'll see. I'm not on that level of mathematician to figure out. They're currently the 20th seed, tied there with ESEA ESEA Gaming, India Ray, Kova, and X-Trasco. They might need another win. They might just need to win in their final game of the season. That's against Phoenix tomorrow, as currently scheduled. That's at 9 p.m. CEST. Not even CEST, CET. That is 8 p.m. BE. Again, I'm stuck in the summer times. 8 p.m. GMT. If you want more details, you can follow the Twitter, obviously at ITB Esports. You can also follow us here on Twitch for when we do go live. And we'll be back with you next time. Until then, take care.